All right, welcome back. Just closed one issue on Heapy. We're going to take a look at some other ones. Okay, generate a CSV to be used in GNU plot. Wow, okay. All right, this is a feature request. With uh, with feature requests, they are. I ask myself, uh, does it benefit? Does this feature make sense in this project? Because every single feature you say yes to is another thing you have to maintain, another thing I have to maintain. Um, and uh, like basically, it's like, is it easier for this feature to be in this project versus in another project? Does it have to be in this project? Uh, if basically this a person is just like, hey, I want to just stash code in your project. Um, like in this case, they're saying like, hey, look, here's how simple it is. I can give an example. Um, this makes me feel like it makes me think that this could just be another project, another separate project, or that they could. I mean, I'm not. It looks relatively. It looks small enough relatively that I could potentially accept this. Uh, I don't know. GNU plot I have used previously, but I don't know. I'm not sure I super see, like, I'm looking at this plot. Do I personally see what the value is here? Like, I'm not even sure what this is a plot of. Kind of same with this. I guess this is just kind of memory over time. Um, which is, that one's actually pretty interesting. That's, um, you can see, here a little bit, GC kicking off, and oh, is this log scale? Unsure. I can't see those labels. No, I don't think so. Yeah, when GC increases the amount of memory used, it increases it by a percentage. And so I think that might kind of be what's going on here. I'm not sure about this really slow growth right there. You know what? That's probably not it. Actually, I have no idea what happened at this memory cliff because it's not tracking. It's not tracking your allocated memory. It's tracking your objects. So anyway, all that's to say, I'm not super interested in this right now. I think if you were triaging this, the questions to ask would be: do you personally see the value in it? Do you think that it belongs in this issue, in this repo? Why or why not? What are the other alternatives towards getting this person the functionality that they want? In this scenario, I would recommend and just say, hey, like if it looks so easy, can you just make it your own project? I would make it like, you could name it like heap GNU plot, Ruby heap GNU plot, or something along those lines. And then it's like, boom, they've got it. If it's super popular, if lots of people like it and want to use it, then we can always come back and revisit and say, hey, it does belong in Heapy. It would be good. So that's in general. I would say most feature requests are not really honored. People in open source tend to say no more than they say yes, in my experience, in my opinion. And so we shouldn't necessarily feel bad about that. It also doesn't necessarily mean that we have to say no. But it's good to have people's, it's good to have eyes on it. Anyway, I'm going to respond to this person now. Yeah, I haven't responded to them in 3 years, so sorry for the extreme delay. And could possibly see this being useful. A separate, I cannot spell, separate gem to accomplish this task. Okay, so sorry for the extreme delay. I like the idea and could possibly see this being useful. I am hesitant to add this functionality directly to Heapy. It looks like the code, that can be a period. It looks like code is small enough that you could make a separate gem to accomplish this task. If that ends up being useful and popular, then we could revisit it directly into Heapy, adding it directly into Heapy, or we could depend on your library. And yeah, I mean, look, in general, I want to try to be nice to people. I want to try to, it's like, hey, you thought of something, you had an idea, like, please go, take it, run with it. I don't want to stop you. Granted, this issue is really old, so the person is probably not going to do this. They never got any response, but that's why I never responded. I didn't know what to do with it. I was fearful of accepting and saying, yeah, great idea, run with it. And like the problem with a feature request without code attached is you never know. It's like, is the code actually going to be any good? Are they actually going to even come back with the code? Like, I've had people suggest great features and then they show up just randomly, like months later, with a half-baked, messy, thing that does not really do what they said it was going to do. And then they're just like, I'm done. And it's like, it's really hard for a maintainer to pre-approve a feature. And it's also why a lot of libraries don't accept feature requests. The Rails doesn't accept them. They just get closed. If you want to request a feature, you can make a feature as a pull request, so people can view the code at the same time as the concept. And in that scenario, you can even say, hey, I love the concept, I don't love the code. Let's work on this. Let's rework on this. So that's an option. Another option in the case of Rails is people will suggest and ask questions about features in other forums. I think recently there's actually a discourse forum that was opened up, which is neat. And then there's like a mailing list, which is not trafficked anyway. But yeah, I think it would have been so much nicer if this person had even one person respond to them. Even if we're going to comment it, it just, I don't know, there's nothing worse than opening up an issue and then just not getting a comment. So, I mean, I have my reasons for not commenting on it. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of emotional and mental energy, to let somebody down gently. Oh. Okay. Yeah, this happens a ton too. Somebody's like, hey, I want to send you a diff script. Get this diff script as part of this gem. Cool. Great. I say, want to send me a PR? Like, this is what I was just talking about, like feature request. Somebody's like, hey, would you take this, would you add heap dump diffing to Heapy, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds wonderful. Send me a pull request, and then silence. Right? Is this the same person that I just closed the other issue for? Yeah, same person. Um, oh, hey, that's another video I was just exporting. Okay, and yeah, this is frustrating. I like if you came across this, I would follow up maybe and say, hey, are you interested in sending a PR? Is anybody interested in sending a PR? If you wanted to take it the next step further, you could maybe even potentially attempt to try and send a PR. I had mentioned in my last video, how long are we right now? We're at about 10 minutes. I had mentioned in my last video, I want to add diffing to Heapy. That's a thing I desire, and a thing people have asked for. I've just not gotten around to it, so that it could be a thing that we could work on and pair on. So I want to leave this open just for now. Those are all things you could do if you're triaging this. I want to leave this open. I don't want to comment on it yet because I actually kind of want to work on this. Let's go through the rest of the issues, though, first. So top object types. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is wonderful. First of all, thanks for the great work. If you ever open up an issue as a maintainer, it just, like, I don't know, you just get so much stuff. It's just like, get this script, and it's like, people kind of forget it. It's not transactional. I'm a human. I'm the only person debugging the issues on this, and it's really nice. Makes me feel good. I've looked at, I don't know, 20, 30 issues in the past 24 hours, and this is the first time somebody has said thanks, so that feels really nice. Okay. Had a hard time debugging a memory leak during several days and could finally find the problem. Heapy helped a bit. That's nice. But I lacked one important information about object types. Basically printing out the counts of objects per class, like done in this. Is it possible to be done through heap dumps? Okay. Is it possible? Well, here's an example of a heap dump. Kind of. They're asking for, in this scenario, they have a bunch of, what is it? What did they say? Proc instances. Do we have any procs here? Yeah, maybe. Is that? Maybe we store struct. Maybe proc is stored as a struct. It's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be much harder. The way that they did it here is a lot better. So what they've done here is they went into their object space and iterated through all of them. There's a gem called, I'm totally going to get this wrong. Saffron memory profiler. Here we go. So I think this is basically exactly what they want. You run this. Does it give an example of the output? It'll show the lines. I think it'll show objects. Maybe I've never actually found the objects to be super that interesting. But I would point them towards this. Yeah, and so I guess just to go back to this, in this heap dump, there are different types. There's, like, you can tell if something's a string. You can also tell if something's an array. memo is an internal used thing. But other than that, you have just kind of like object, and you might be able. There might be a way that you can like you can see what that there are classes. So I'm curious. So yeah, you can see what class it is. You can see what retains that class. There might be a way to find out. And this is just a memory address. But I don't know what the actual name of this class is. And yeah, there, like I said, there might be some way to walk it, or we might be able to look at like type. So I guess we already looked at type. But there was another struct thing. I'm actually not exactly sure what that is. But just off the bat, it doesn't look like we can easily do it. Yeah, and this is just, I kind of want to give them an example. So here's data. I want an object. There we go. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Let's regenerate a heap dump. That was weird. So we're going to make a new class. And so we're going to have this foo class. Hopefully, we're going to call it foo grep so I can grep it easy. See if I can find this in the output. So that generated that heap dump. Now we're going to look in here. Okay. Huh. So, yeah, some of them, like the last one we just saw, foo grep.new. This is actually from the source code. This is a value of foo grep. This is a string of foo grep. This is also a string of foo grep. Also, oh, okay. So I guess we can. So we've got the address of this class. We've got the name of this class. Now, my question is, can I count how many of these classes there are? So this is the address of the class. Okay, that's weird. Okay. Foo grep. Let me see. I think I grabbed the wrong string to grep for earlier. Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. So I think we actually can do it easier. I'll give them my example so they can reproduce. Or I can reproduce. I mean, anytime I'm talking to somebody else, I'm talking to them. I'm also talking to me, future me. I'm also talking to any contributors. But I want to be able to speak in, anytime I can speak in code, in runnable examples, that's ideal. Let's open up let's give them the scratch code. So here's how you generate the heap dump. Okay, and then, so this is the class. You can see the foo grep class in there. Okay, that is a timer telling me I need to take a stretch break. We'll get to that after this issue. Okay, if we search for that address, we find the objects. So we can delete that. Where? Okay. Yeah, here we go. Is that the same one? Class. Yeah, here's all the classes. Cool. Yeah, and I mean, generally, so sorry for the extreme delay. I want to tell them basically like, hey, here's my process. Here's what I'm thinking. I don't necessarily always need to be able to have a concrete answer, but like when they open this, I'm sure ideally they would just like for this feature to just kind of appear out of nowhere. And like that's kind of not how I work, right? I didn't know any of this when I started. I didn't know that data was there. I had assumed or kind of guessed I could make it, but then actually going in and proving. I mean, and this is how I work. Like you saw me make some examples and prove or disprove things. And so I kind of want to bring them along on that journey, along with anybody else. And again, also for me as well, in case I end up not working on this now, I can come back and be like, oh yeah, hey, like that logic makes sense. So I did some exploring, generate the heap dump. So yeah, basically that's kind of where I want to leave it is just like, you can do it. This is how I would do it. I don't plan on working on this right now. I don't have the direct need. And so I'm going to also I want to set some expectations. So here's what I saw. Here's what I found out. Yes, you can do it. Um, uh, um, yeah. So, I mean, I'm being honest. I don't have plans to work on this right now. If somebody else wants to, they're more than welcome. I also said I see that might be interesting. And yeah, this is also, you don't necessarily have to know all of this or know how to do all of this. This is a bit intense. So I think we've gone 25 minutes. So far, all of the Heapy issues have been pretty intense. But hopefully you learned a little bit about heap dump format. Learned a little bit about how I think about issues and triage them. I'm gonna keep this one open. I think it's an interesting feature request. Might be good for future work if anybody else is interested in it. Oh yeah. I wanted to link to Memory Profiler. Let me see where. Wait. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to say that. I wanted to mention that this gem Memory Profiler is a great option for inspecting objects like you did in the attached issue. And I'll put that up top because I like to lead. I like to. Sorry for the extreme delay. I don't know. This is not really that important to the issue, so I actually like to front load them. I don't want to sideline the conversation. The conversation is about showing top objects types, and so I want to leave the end of it about, hey, what is next? Okay, so we're going to leave this comment, and that is it for triaging this issue. Going to close my video recording. And yeah, thanks for tuning in.